This is Germany's most terrifying horror film. Even someone like Young Me, a horror enthusiast, wouldn't watch it a second time. It's Joya, released in 2022. Warning, the movie is intense throughout. We recommend watching it with a boyfriend. The story begins. Jack is playing games in the living room. A ghost appears outside suddenly. Then the screen starts flickering. Everything goes dark instantly. Frightened, Jack goes upstairs to find his sister. As he opens the door, he sees his sister with blood in her mouth, brandishing a knife and rushing out. After speaking, his sister pulls Jack to run outside. During their escape, Jack sees a ghost at the doorway. They escape to a bridge and stop the car, but his sister suddenly acts crazy, insisting on pulling him off the bridge. Jack clings to the railing. Eventually, he can't hold on. He kicks his sister off the dam. Since then, Jack has a huge psychological scar. He relies on medication to live normally. That night, Jack is awakened by voices downstairs. He leaves his room. He sees his parents and sister with an old man, undressing in the living room. It seems they're performing a strange ritual. Jack is confused. He wants to see what they're doing, but as he reaches the bed, his sister catches him. A mysterious force knocks him unconscious. When he wakes up, his parents are around him. They say he sleepwalked and fell off the balcony. Jack asks if there were visitors at home. His mother denies it. What's stranger? His usually close sister now acts like a stranger. The next day, Jack sees his sister's door slightly open and walks in. Jack immediately pushes the door open, but his sister is just changing clothes. Nothing unusual. His sister just turned 18 this year, the same age she had the incident. He tells his friend Sarah about these events. They chat as they walk. They see his sister breaking up with Matthew. Matthew is confused. They were close yesterday. During pee, his sister had a heavy nosebleed and fainted, causing an accident. But soon, he reappeared at home unharmed. At this time, Jack returns. Jack is stunned. He checks he's not seeing things. For his sister's safety, Jack stays in her room at midnight. He doesn't know a demon is hiding under the bed now. Suddenly, strange sounds come from behind the bed curtain. He grabs a bat and checks. But it's nothing. In the end, Jack is kicked out. After returning to his room, Matthew suddenly sends a message, saying he and his sister are in danger. Details to discuss in person. Jack immediately bikes to meet him. Matthew is anxiously waiting. He hears someone calling his name outside. Matthew goes out to check. He finds an elderly lady fainted. He cautiously approaches to ask. When Jack arrives, Matthew is already dead. A growl comes from behind him. He turns around slowly and sees a terrifying demon. Jack flees and calls the police. They declare Matthew's death as suicide. Jack says it's impossible. Matthew recently texted about suicide. He might have killed himself. Jack looks for evidence on his phone, but strangely, his chat with Matthew is gone. At home, Jack can't sleep. He plans to take medicine and sleep, but sees something strange inside. He's about to cut it open and finds a worm. Jack is disgusted. The next day, he gives the worm to his biology teacher. The teacher says it's not a worm, but a fungus that grows on corpses. Then the teacher gives him a business card, asking him to find an exorcist for help. The exorcist examines the fungus with a serious expression. After hearing about Jack's sister, he concludes a demon is involved. An exorcism must be done now, or the demon will fully possess his sister. Otherwise, it will be too late. Shortly after, Jack brings the exorcist home. He repeatedly tells the three not to look the demon in the eyes. After explaining everything, the exorcist starts chanting to summon the demon. Soon, the demon shows its true form, attaching to the exorcist. At this moment, the living room lights turn on, and the room returns to normal. Jack's parents have returned. Their arrival interrupts everything, so the exorcist leaves. The next morning, Jack visits the exorcist again, only to find he was tormented by evil spirits and has moved out overnight. Jack returns to school. At the playground, he sees a classmate about to jump. He says, "Go." There's no blood. After saying that, the man jumps off the building. The students are terrified. Fortunately, an ambulance arrives. Sarah finds a medicine box on the ground. He thinks the man must be linked to the meds inside. Doctors extract a parasite from the man's mouth. As they rush him for treatment, they push the man into surgery. He tells Jack to check his bag's files. Jack opens the files, finding adoption certificates inside. He and his sister were adopted by their parents. Sarah infiltrates Jack's father's pharmaceutical company. In the production area, she sees dozens of rotting corpses. The corpses are covered in fungus. That's how the medicines are made. Sarah runs to inform Jack. Meanwhile, Jack goes to the hospital and asks his grandfather about the man. Unexpectedly, his grandfather dies right then. Before he can mourn, the doctor acts suddenly. When Jack wakes up, he is tied to a chair at home, and the woman before him is the doctor who prescribed his meds. She then pushes Jack into a secret room. The room's stone walls are covered with demon symbols. His parents and sister have been waiting. His family has been controlled by demons. To find new hosts, the demon makes them feed offspring with pure souls. Once the host turns 18, they can switch bodies to live longer. The first hosts were Jack's grandfather. Now his grandfather is old and weak. The demon seeks new hosts. Jack is the perfect choice. Everyone lines up, hands on the railing. Then the demon leaves their bodies. Suddenly, the dead grandfather stands up, opens his mouth wide, and starts transferring the evil spirit. As it's about to finish, Sarah arrives, burning the controlled hosts. As she leaves, Jack pulls out heavy objects from his throat. They escape outside. They meet their friend Ame, who helps them. At the end, the three walk down a quiet road. Seeing a demon advertisement billboard ahead, they feel hopeless. Because this means many people are already possessed by demons. At this moment, Ame stops walking and shows a sinister smile. The film ends here. Please like and subscribe to the channel to watch more movie summary videos. Goodbye, and see you in the next films.